Open Book by Jessica Simpson, a review, part 1. I say part 1 because I have a feeling I'm going to have to make a part 2 just to get everything I want to say out. It usually happens that way because you can only put so much into one video if you're posting on TikTok. I could do a longer video and put it on YouTube, but then I have to do 2. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyways, yes, I'm aware it's another pop star from the 90s. She came out the same time as Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Funny fact, and it's in the book as well. It seems to me, and the way this is worded, it sounds like at that time, and I'm sure it was stuff that was said, but nobody actually confirmed it, but we all thought it. Basically, at that time, the music industry, the pop star scene for females, was trying to look for anybody who had, who was blonde, had a voice, skinny, and that they could promote. Every company wanted to have one female that was a Britney Spears and a Christina Aguilera, which is funny because she came out around the same time that Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Actually, in her book, it says that the company she signed on with basically delayed her album so it wouldn't coincide with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Just saying. But here's the thing. Jessica Simpson was, and this is true for all in the 90s, like, a fact you have to understand about the 90s is that you had to have something that the industry could honestly promote. So you had to have a talent that they could promote, and that way if it came up against scrutiny, they could say that this is your talent. No matter if you branched off somewhere else or they marketed you somewhere else or you did something, you had to have a skill. So, and I will say that Jessica Simpson did have a good singing voice. She really did. You can hear it in the songs she sings. So, moving forward in this review, I'm not trying to disrespect her or her work or say anything mean about her, because the truth is that no matter how you look at it, you have to go by the facts that she herself has put in this book and what we grew up seeing in the media at the time. So I say that now, and one little tidbit is the reason I'm saying about the fact that they had to have some kind of talent in order to promote stars in the 90s is because they couldn't cover it up like they can now. The music industry had to work on, or the talent industry in general. I don't want to say just the music industry because it was the entertainment industry itself. But you had to have something that they could honestly promote because they didn't have the tools or stuff to be able to cover up if you didn't have talent. And it irks me because people try to say that the 90s had no talent. That's where people are wrong, because they had to have talent. That being said, Jessica Simpson did have talent in her voice. The problem is her career was completely mishandled by the people, and it was very easy for them to do because, and the way she describes it in her book, Her father was a pastor, youth pastor. Her mother worked in the church as well. They were very religious based, and their family had certain things, certain standards that they were held up to, and there are things that their that her parents' talents that they used in the church could have been translated over into the industry. The problem is because it's so isolated. Um, it was, excuse me, it was isolated talents, and they only used it for certain things like church drives, church related things, and they didn't really have any allies, we'll say. Um, so the company that signed Jessica, there was hardly anyone to be able to tell her parents, her father specifically, because he tried to go into the role as manager early on. Um, they didn't have allies to be sitting there saying that if you say yes to this or if you say no, like they didn't really have a whole lot of counsel. So it wasn't, so behind Jessica, her family, it wasn't the, the money grab like it was for certain other celebrities. It was that they were kind of semi small town people who wanted to help their daughter reach her then dream and be there for her, but they didn't know the business well, so the business took advantage of that. That being said, I'm going to elaborate, and this is where I have to cut myself off because I ramble a lot. So, part 2 coming your way.